Well, Rachel, thanks very much for joining us tonight. Good talking to you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And a little bit of action on Capitol Hill this week. Homeland Security Government Affairs Committee Chairman Joe Lieberman sent a letter, I guess, to Attorney General Eric Holder this week saying that he supports the idea of reporting sales of multiple long guns, requiring federally licensed firearms retailers in border states to report the sale of more than one long gun to ATF, despite the fact that the law right now doesn't allow that, Rachel.
Well, it's really funny. When the ATF reintroduced their proposal that would require firearms dealers to report multiple sales, they mentioned several things in that proposal, but what they didn't talk about was what the NRA found to be the most compelling argument against this, which is that there's no legal authority that the ATF has to demand this information. But on top of that, demanding this information will do absolutely nothing to address the problems that are happening across our border in Mexico. We need to be thinking about punishing criminals. There is already a law that addresses every crime that these drug cartels are committing in the United States. And we need to go after the drug cartels instead of law-abiding people who are just trying to protect themselves or buying a new gun for sports shooting or what have you.
Well, absolutely. And what we've seen with the allegations of Operation Fast and Furious is that FFLs were already calling the ATF voluntarily when they ran across suspicious sales, whether it was one firearm or more than one firearm. The problem was that in a lot of these cases, the ATF were telling the licensed retailers to let the sales proceed over their objections.
Well, that's right. So it seems to me that they're using a lot of resources that could be put forth to actual crime fighting to further burden law-abiding people. And I think that's why the National Rifle Association and gun owners, especially in those 4 border states, are outraged by the efforts by the ATF to share law-abiding people's information with the government.
Yeah. Does the fact that Senator Lieberman, he wrote a letter to Attorney General Eric Holder expressing support for this gun control measure, rather than asking him any questions about Operation Fast and Furious, is that disappointing to you at all?
Oh, certainly it's disappointing, and that's why we're going to continue to ask Congress to investigate Fast and Furious and get to the bottom of what actually happened. We want the truth, and we want to know why the ATF was allowing firearms to go across the border with their knowledge and not tracking them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the letter or the release from Lieberman's office even says guns purchased in the U.S. have also been used to, quote, slaughter our own law enforcement officers. Now, of course, he's talking about the death of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry. Again, those firearms are alleged to have been a part of Operation Fast and Furious, which to me makes the omission of any mention of that even more curious.
That's right. I think that a lot of anti-gun politicians and people who are calling for more gun control need to ask the important questions, like what is our government and what is the ATF doing to protect us, and what are they doing that's actual crime fighting? This kind of measure will do absolutely nothing to address the crime problem on this side of the border or in Mexico. And it's very interesting the omission of something so important as Fast and Furious, and something that the media has actually picked up on, and a lot of Americans are demanding answers, including those of the National Rifle Association.
Yeah. So do you anticipate, Rachel, I mean, given that Senator Lieberman is the chair of the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee, I mean, if he's coming out in support of this, do you think we'll get an actual hearing on this proposed regulation by ATF?
Well, that would be like looking into a crystal ball. I mean, we just have no idea. But what we do encourage people to do is email comments to the OMB. Make sure that they know that the NRA and the majority of Americans think that this is a ludicrous idea.
All right. Rachel Parsons, as always, appreciate you coming on the program. Look forward to doing this again soon.
Hey, thank you so much.